everybody. I'm here. I'm looking very smart on top, and I have some very casual loungewear and slippers on the bottom. I also have some slow gin because I feel that we need to get through that. So, very excitingly, we are going to chat to Nicola Clarke, who I'm going to press the button on. Nicola is an amazing colourist who I've known for a really embarrassingly long amount of time. Hello, gorgeous.
Hello, my dear.
I was just about to give you the full sell of how deeply fabulous you were.
Oh.
And she is deeply fabulous in that, I mean, my God, you do like everybody's hair colour, like all the beauty editors, obviously very important, but also all the deeply fabulous celebrities.
Been around for a long time, haven't I, babes?
Yeah, I mean, both of us. So, I mean, I reckon we've known each other for like 20 years. Do you think?
Yeah, definitely.
Oh my God. And so, where were you at that time? You were like freelance doing your styling and your kind of amazing stuff?
A bit of that. I've always been at a salon.
Yeah.
I never left working in the salon. So I was funny because I was at Sam's earlier, McKnight, and we were talking about how we knew you. And I remember we used to do, what was it? It must have been at L.
Yes. So we did a cover together, and I was trying to remember whether it was Anna Friel or not, or whether it was Meg Matthews.
No, we did Anna Frail together.
Did we? Oh my God.
Yeah, and I think I think we were both assisting on the first job that I worked with you, and Mary Greenwell was the makeup artist, and Sam was doing the hair, and I want to say it was like Helena Christensen.
Oh my God. Was that in New York? Because we did Helena in New York. She has got the best tits I've ever seen.
She has the best boobs in the biz.
I was like, here's your top. Try not to stare.
Oh my God, I know, but she's just amazing from head to toe, that woman, anyway.
She is. She's like dipped in honey or something.
She is dipped in honey.
And I like literally look like a sort of English salami girl.
Oh, don't even go there. What? I was like this little Essex girl that... At least you're all...
What was your trajectory from Essex girl to doing Her Majesty Madonna's hair? How did that like happen? You assisted Sam, did you? Did you always know that you wanted to do kind of colour, or did you?
No, I mean, I got into hairdressing like you do really young. I was probably like 13. Yeah, I was 13 when I got my first job as a Saturday girl. When everyone else was sort of like, my sister was, you know, I don't know, working in a cafe or having a paper round. And then I knew that I always wanted to work in London. That was like a given. My family were from London, and they moved out to Essex, and I was like way too small. Yeah. Like, I just need to be in a bigger... I didn't really want to be doing my friends' mums.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like going from school and then literally like not, you know, I just wanted to meet people really. And and so I started working in this really amazing hotel called the Berkeley Hotel. And that was where it sort of started. And then I worked for Andrew Joe's, and then I met Umberto Giannini, and then I started working for John. But in between all that time, I still loved the photographic stuff.
Yeah.
So I used to, every sort of day off or time that I had off, because Sam was living in New York when I started assisting him. So he wasn't really around. So, you know, like he wasn't in London so much. So I could have a proper job.
Yeah.
And then do all the fun things with you guys.
And that's what, I mean, it must be the proper job, like the salon, because you have a mixture of clients, don't you? Have all your amazing celebrities, but you also, you know, you do kind of normal people, as Liz Hurley would call us, civilians. You do civilians.
I do civilians. I love my civilians.
And what is it about hair colour? Because, I mean, to me, it's like one of the most amazing things. Like, you leave the salon, you just feel bloody brilliant. I mean, do you feel like a fairy godmother?
I don't know. I wish. No, I tell you, it is really. You know what it is? It's building up the relationships that you build. That's quite amazing. Like, I don't know. It's just it's tough. It's tough because, you know, it's always been sort of tough. I feel. I'm going to turn you up a little bit. I hope I don't turn it off, but. I think it's just tough because I worked in such a high-end salon from the very beginning, even actually when I was a Saturday girl, because I worked in sort of cool one in the high street, and then I went then I went to work at the Barclay, and they were so intense and high end, you know, like.
Yeah, I mean, you have to be on your A game, right? You have to bring your A game.
Like massively, like, you know, like if you sort of like, you know, sniggered or anything, they, you know, the client would be like, "What are you laughing at, girl?" You know, it was kind of hard. It was hard. So
Yeah,
I don't know, like it was just you know, we had like people like Peter Ustinof's wife come into the salon, and Fay Ray, who was like the first King Kong, the first heroine in King Kong, you know, like things like that. So it was quite full on. And then I think I helped, funny enough, I helped this hairdresser, amazing hairdresser called Johnny Sapong, and love Johnny. And that sort of got me into doing fashion shows.
yeah,
And I'd sort of been reading magazines while I was at the Barclay, like Vogue and stuff, as you do. And every time I sort of looked at the editorial work, it was Sam's name that just kept coming up.
yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, I really want to work with him. And it was just a chance meeting.
Yeah.
I was helping this hairdresser called Nigel Barnes.
Yeah.
And we were doing Ab Fab. It was Ab Fab were open London Fashion Week.
Oh my God. I mean,
And-
how amazing.
And we were doing Jennifer Saunders and Joanna Lumley. And Sam sort of rocked up with his flight cases and with Naomi. And that was like it was so like, and we were at Harvey Nichols, and that was it really. And I just kind of, once I'd met Sam on that brief meeting, I just said to him, I really want to assist you. And he was like, yeah, fine, speak to my agent. And I just hassled them all the time.
Yeah. And isn't that interesting, that sort of tenacity? And then I always think with great colorists and stylists that it's kind of, you know, of course it's about how talented you are, but also it's about your ability to relate to people, isn't it? And make people comfortable. And, you know, a lot of that, you're so skilled at that.
I think it's like, I think a lot of it is to do, obviously with, I mean, listen, there's a lot of skillful hairdressers out there, but it's also dedication. Yeah. Everybody that I know is so dedicated, you know, like all the makeup artists that I work with, you know, anyone that's successful. I mean, you look at Charlotte Tilbury, Lisa Eldridge, Mary Greenwell, Kay Montana. They're all so dedicated.
They are, and they always turn up with everybody, you know, they turn up with like, everyone's printed out their muse pictures, or they've kind of got the kit all laid out. Like, I'm sure that's what you were doing for Sam, some of that. Now someone lays out your kit, I'm sure, but you know, it's, you know.
I mean, it's just you know, it's a brilliant industry to be in.
Yeah, it is. And I just feel like I've got so many good friends actually from it.
Amazing.
You know. And how's it been in the lockdown for you, like in terms of I mean, obviously it must be stressful having to close and then open and have all those, you know.
You know what, it's really funny, I saw something Sam put on Instagram recently. It was a video of Princess Diana talking about how a pivotal moment in her life, how she changed, and she mentioned when Sam cut her hair off, and she'd sort of like just got over bulimia. And it's really funny, it's like those, you know, I know, like, I used to really sort of resent people saying, oh, you know, hairdressers, they just ask you where you're going on holiday. I sort of like really, you know, you do those kind of things. It's kind of like a start-up conversation with people that you don't know, but the kind of conversations that you have with the people that you work with over a certain amount of years are really like in depth and really, really sort of, you know, like, I mean, the conversations that we have together, just, you know, it's, I don't know, it's quite major. And I think people take it for granted.
You're touching someone's hair, they're touching you, you're being very vulnerable in that space, both of you. And I think that's why I think for you, I mean, it must be like you must get home and have to put like a flannel on your head, because you must just absorb so much of
It's funny, I can't remember who I was talking to, but it's really funny. Like, I walk through the door and my husband's a filmmaker and a writer, and he comes in and he's like, right, what happened? And blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, oh my God, like, you need to just back off. Like, I just don't want to speak to anybody. And he's like, oh my God, I've been in the office all day long. You've seen people. It's like, you do sort of need to decompress a little bit. But I mean, it's not in a bad way. It's it's just you taking on a lot of, well, also as well, you're taking on a lot of people's, when I was younger and I started hairdressing, and people would come in, you'd have women and you'd do their hair, and one day they would be fine, and the next time they come in, like 6 weeks later, they'd be kicking off about something, and you think, oh my God, what have I done wrong? Like, you know, it's something that you've done, and normally it's just some crazy scenario that they're going through. They're either late for something, or they've had a row with their husband, or their kids have been little shits.
Yes.
You know, it's like, it's that they're the life experiences.
You learn to realise that it was like other.
You
must learn your coping mechanisms, I guess.
A little bit, yeah, you do. You kind of think, oh, this is not about me. Actually, this is something else is going on. And if you're sort of a bit nosy, you can kind of dig and get to the point. But, you know, yeah, I mean, it's a brilliant job. I mean, it's amazing. I did it because I wanted to be able to travel the world, and if I needed money, I could do like I'm not bilingual, so I just thought if I have a skill, then you know, it's going to get me paid and around the world.
And you certainly do have a total skill. So what would you say? I was thinking about it, and I was thinking about all the amazing, I mean, you've just done the pink hair, haven't you, with Madonna? Is that right?
I did, yeah. And
so like, in terms of what are your most amazing, like, what's the most brilliant transformation you've done, or have been most exciting?
God, I don't know. That's, you put me on the spot. I suppose, you know what, actually,
you need a slow gin to remember.
I know when you think you had a slow gin, I was like, oh my God, I'm such an idiot. I'm so not prepared. I'm just surrounded by products and stuff. But yeah, I suppose actually taking Madonna pink was pretty cool, because like we've taken her, she's been brunette and I've taken her blonde, and that's, you know, great, and it's you know, it's fantastic. But when Andy Lecomte, who does her hair, like, there's a stylist called me and said, we're gonna you know, we're talking about pink, and I was like, yes. Like, not even just that it's pink, but just like something sort of majorly different for her, because, you know, she had the long hair, and you know, and I was really up for it. So we sort of like, we'd come with our little experiments and little testers that we've done. And it's so funny because in the beginning she was like, I don't want to look like, you know, like my daughter, or I don't want it to be like really shocking pink. And because now they've gone back to New York and I've given them a colour to take with them, I can see it's slightly getting brighter and brighter. And it's so funny. It's like when you go blonde, you get blonder and blonder. You don't even realise that you're doing it.
I mean, I'd so like to be blonde. Oh my God. I mean, and in terms of like, I know you're big into like the, you know, the color, like looking after the color and stuff. And, you know, that's changed massively, hasn't it? I remember you talking to me, you know, about kind of, I remember you telling me that like Gwyneth deserved to have the hair that she had because she put like all the masks on and all that stuff. And, but in terms of like, we were talking about virtue, weren't we? And you love that. And I've been trying this. But I think am I only meant to put a bit on?
Like... It's like an oil. It's a healing oil. So, of course, I mean, you've got tons of hair, so you can get away with it. I mean, I would be like in dire straits if I put as much on as you. Yeah, I mean, you know what? It's really funny. I've been really, really lucky with the brands that I've worked with over the years. And I opened my salon 3 years ago, and I've got this really great friend in Canada that was calling me and saying to me, I've had really amazing friends that have had their own salons that have really helped me out with, you know, going into being a salon owner rather than just working for a salon. And he called me and he was like, you need this, darling. It's called Virtue. It's amazing. And I was like, well, I've just taken on aisles, and, you know, I've got...
Oh my God, that stuff smells amazing. That's
unbelievable.
Wendy, and I was like, Isles, isn't it?
Yeah, Wendy Isles. And I was like, you know, I'm a bit nervous, and I've got Sam's sprays and everything. I don't want to kind of overload myself. And he was like, darling, you need to try this stuff. And it is amazing. It is amazing. It's got human keratin in it. It's got human protein. So normally most proteins are made from animal proteins, and this is made from...
Has someone died for this, Nicola?
No, thankfully not. It's all ethically sourced hair.
Oh, okay.
And they really smartly dialyse the keratin, the protein, out of the hair. It's very technical.
All right.
And
we won't worry about that.
I know, exactly. And so when that come along, and I gave it actually to Joel, who works with me at John Frieda, and he kindly gave it to his wife, who is a very tricky customer, but also a hairdresser. And after her testing it out for a bit, he wrote me this huge, great big long text and was like, it's changed her life, it's changed her hair. She's quite high maintenance in a fabulous way, like goes as a manicure once a week, blow dries her hair twice or once a week. And she'd stopped blow drying her hair for the first time in her life because the keratin, the protein, the alpha keratin in the had fixed. It was repairing her hair, and she was actually enjoying her curl rather than it being a frizz, which is what mine tends to be like.
Yeah,
but,
mine too. So actually, I really like that.
This is a new one. This is like the healing oil. So that is actually, I don't know whether you can see it. The alpha keratin is in the bottom.
Oh, okay.
That is the protein.
So that's someone's fingernails.
yeah. Someone's hair. It's not chicken.
It's Madonna's fingernails.
Yeah, it's not chicken feet. Yeah, so you shake it. So all of the products have the alpha keratin in. So when that came up, I was like, and when I got all these like a fabulous, basically holding the gun to my head saying you got to have it, and they're the most amazing company. They're so lovely to work with, and it's such a small like little boutique family. And Adir Abigel is the creative director, who is bonkers but genius. He does all of like the most amazing red carpet hair in LA, and he's just fantastic, and he's so fabulous to work with. Have you not met him?
I've not met him. I'd love to meet him.
You need to meet him.
It's similar for me. Like I like it. I like to get my hair smooth and stuff, but it is really good. I've got that the one that you put on the styler as well. I think I just put it all on, and I just love the way it smells.
The 6-in-1 is amazing.
But I do also love, I love that Wendy Isle stuff as well.
The serum. The serum is absolutely beautiful. Yeah. It's really, really beautiful. And then obviously I've got my little hair bag here.
Oh yeah,
Sam.
Oh my God, yes. I love that. Which one's that?
This one is the hairspray, because obviously I'm styling in the salon. Where's my I've got my Cool Girl as well somewhere. It's only a little one, so
And oh my God, I need the little one.
I know.
Minis. They make me a bit funny.
I was on a shoot.
We like that.
I was on a shoot a couple of weeks ago with Charlotte Tilbury and Kate Moss. And Kate was like, oh, you need to put some product in my hair. I was like, well, I've put a little bit of 6-in-1 in it, but we'll put some Cool Girl in. And Charlotte's like, darling, this was made for you and me. So I was like, I think it was actually.
I went on the first trip with Charlotte, like her first like location trip, and I was an assistant, and we went to Morocco, and they speak French in Morocco, don't they? And it was so funny because she just ring down to us. We had to share a room. We'd never met before. By the end, we were totally brilliant. We had to share a room. She'd ring up. She'd go, "Hello, I would like a croissant." I'd be like, "They can't understand you."
Oh, she's amazing.
Oh my God. And everyone came to our room and was smoking till like 5 in the morning. I mean, so funny. But sorry, get back on track, Rick. So in terms of like, colour and how to, because I'm very guilty of like, I'll go and get my nice colour and I'll be so chuffed with it, and then I won't look after it. But I presume it's like anything, like as in, I mean, I do use those products, so I'm lucky enough to get sent them. But I have been known to use Head and Shoulders, and so it's just like, actually, presumably you can keep it looking better if you look after it. Is that right?
Do you know what? It's further down the line as well. It's like, if you're not looking after it, listen, I'm all for like a cheap shampoo as well. I understand it and I get it. We go through it. So whenever because the Virtue's not cheap, but when I speak to my clients, when I'll recommend them what I think is right for them. Yeah. And I'll just say to them, this is your precious shampoo.
Yes.
You don't put it in the shower where your husband and your children go. You hide it.
Yeah.
So they're not like pouring it. Like my son's hair's that short and I'm like, where's my shampoo? And they always complain because I give them the crap.
Yeah, exactly. They can have the supermarket own, basically.
Yeah.
And then, I agree. And I have to say, with the Virtue, it is expensive. And I often quite kind of worry about giving, you know, telling people about expensive stuff and not.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
actually, I'm always so surprised. It's a bit like Sisley, which I was saying to you earlier, is
Mm.
so expensive.
Yeah.
And sometimes I'll, like, you know, I'll have some extra and I'll give it to my aunt or something, and then
Yeah.
they'll be like, oh, I went and bought that, like, you know, and they're not rich, but they're like, it just feels so
Yeah,
lovely. So
but
sometimes
I think it's like key. It's like, you know, you have your things, don't you? I mean, I don't know, like, I mean, I think even the younger girls in the salon, they sort of splash out on certain products. And I think if you look after them and respect them for the ingredients that they've got in them,
yeah,
you know, and yeah, fair enough. Like, I think you can treat yourself to a decent shampoo and conditioner if you're spending a lot of money on your colour. You know, I work with I've done clients before that have used certain shampoos that have got a shampoo and a conditioner mixed in, and even just simple little changes have been quite problematic. And in the past, I think I've put it down to like the water in your pipes, or if you've got copper pipes and stuff like
yeah.
that. But I really do think it is some of the chemicals that they put in the shampoos, especially
Okay,
the
that's
cheaper ones. You
yeah,
know what I mean? I'm not saying I'm not knocking them at all.
yeah,
But if you can splurge on something, you know, like, it's like, you know, you splurge on a mascara. You
yeah,
know, I've got a really great mascara, and then I've got like a sort of cheaper one.
yeah,
So I just
absolutely.
kind of alternate them. And I think through lockdown, you know, when we first went into lockdown, I was talking to Sam about it. Everyone went mental. Oh my God, how do you cut your fringe? How do you do this? I was
Oh,
like, oh
I
my
know.
God, like half the people that I do in the salon won't even get their hair trimmed. Now they want to know how to trim their hair. Why would you do that? Why
I
would you
know.
do that?
And that also, that kind of, I was interested, actually. I was talking to a salon owner, and she, you know, she was saying that she was really upset by the kind of, I guess it's like anything, isn't it? Things gather momentum, but this idea that, you know, suddenly we can all become our own colorists. Actually, there's a massive
Yeah.
skill to it, right?
Well, also as well, I think, you know what, to tell you the truth, I think you could probably get away with it maybe once or twice.
Yeah. What,
I
just
was
coaching
talking,
out the greys, you mean?
yeah, I mean, you could probably get away with it not being a disaster once or
Yeah.
twice. It's like, you know, I do, and she won't mind, like Kathleen Baird
Yeah.
Murray, and
Oh, yeah, love her.
we did like a little Zoom, and I showed her how to put a colour on and everything. But it's funny, it's like I always say, it's like, even if you've got somebody else's formula, it's like painting a picture. You're never necessarily going to get it the same as everybody else.
No.
And even if it's just a blanket tint, you know, like, you go over certain parts, you get bands. So yeah, I mean, 100%, I wouldn't swap hair, you know, because
Oh, yeah.
there's a market for it. But there's also a skill, if you've spent that amount of money. Well, lockdown this time wasn't so bad because it's only been a month, but
Yeah.
you know, 4 months is a bit much. But I think, you know, as much as you can hold off. I mean, look at my roots. My roots are
Yeah.
Sam's like that. Oh my God, you're so grey. But I'm going to go back.
Oh, I was just thinking how gorgeously blonde you look.
I'm just cutting out the grey bits from the top. But yeah, I mean, I just think, you know what I found more, because I thought, like we were talking earlier about how many disasters, you know,
Yeah.
were going to come back in. I was really surprised on how many people didn't actually do anything. I was really
No,
shocked.
I held off. I'd seen too many Lego heads. You know, that kind of like,
Yeah.
they'd just all done it, and they had that like helmet of dark
Yeah.
hair, and it was
And
just.
also what I found was that people's hair had improved. So where they'd left it,
Yeah.
not blow dried it, no heat styling,
Yeah.
you know, it improved definitely 100% for more people. And I think, I don't know whether people were putting masks on and stuff, you know, I think you do have time, you know, like, you do have more time, and I think you should make a little bit more time. You know, I don't know, I just think, you know, you care for your skin, like, why
Yeah.
would you not care for your hair and your scalp?
I guess for me, like the stuff with the masks, the question that I would say is like, because it's kind of dead, you sort of think, oh, well, maybe I can't improve on it. But I guess if you're just consistently, you know, giving it moisture and not kind of, it's not all tangled, and it's not kind of, what,
Yeah.
you're just stopping it
Well, I
degrading.
mean, yeah,
basically.
you say it's dead, but I mean, you wouldn't set a light to it, would you? Do you know what I
No.
mean? It's like, you kind of like, you need to add moisture and and protein and all
Well,
those
I don't
things
know.
to
That's
kind of
next week's
improve
video,
it. It's
Nicola.
like a canvas, isn't it? It's like a canvas. So if the canvas is smooth and clear,
Yes.
you can
And I
do more
just
things
think
with
as
it.
well, you look at the, you look at the Indian women that like oil their hair all the time, and that always looks amazing, doesn't it?
Unbelievable,
So there
yeah.
must be something in that.
Yeah.
Now I've got a gazillion. All the questions that I
Okay.
got were about
Oh,
grey
God.
hair. They're all about grey hair. So in terms of like, how do you, like what kind of percentage, I guess people are asking, like, is it a good idea to just embrace it and go with it of like hair? When do you sort of hit that tipping point of grey? Or do you never hit the tipping point?
Of going, Joe Jones, have you got a grey hair? Joe Jones is on.
I love JoJo's. I love that you're like this. I'm not showing any grey hair.
I know, exactly. No, listen, I did say to my husband, do you think I should grow my greys out? And he's like, what, you're going to scrape it back in a granny bun and you're going to have it grey? So, yeah, so that was a bit squashed. But
Yeah.
I just think, like, you have to think about how much money you want to spend, how much time you want to spend in the hair salon, and is that something that's possible? Or then you go the sort of home hair route.
Yeah.
And I think if you've got like a couple of greys, you can always go in, I don't know, most stylists do both hair colour and cutting.
Yeah.
So, what I tend to do is start painting bits out rather than, I mean, would you remember with you?
Yes, because you were like, actually, if I do the whole lot, then you just get the regrowth, don't you? Much more
massive
naturally,
regrowth. Plus as well, plus as well, you're brunette. Most brunettes don't want to be warm.
Yeah.
So if you've got 4 grey hairs or 5 grey, say for instance you've got 10 grey hairs, you're going to cover your whole head. For those 10 greys. I would just rather paint them out.
Yeah. And presumably once you start covering the whole head, you're putting a tint on or whatever, you're kind of compromising the hair a bit where it doesn't need to be, right?
Yeah.
Is that right? Yeah. So I think, I'm keeping on that. I'm going to save myself for you.
Yeah, I mean, also as well, like I would probably just put a few, maybe, depends. If you want to stay sort of as a brunette, then I would keep it, just paint out just the ones that are driving you crazy. They tend to be a bit tough, so you have to do a few more around them. But then you can always put a few, I mean, you've gone a little bit blonder actually, haven't you, Madame?
Yeah, well, you did it. And do you know what?
Yeah.
This is when we think about like budget saving and stuff. Like you did my hair, and it lasted for a year or something.
Yeah.
I had to go and get like the rooty bits touched in. But actually, you can really make it last.
You could do that yourself, or you could use like one of those spray things, which they're not the tidiest of things to use if you're using them every day, but they're a bit of a tide over. But I mean, like with you, we put a few light bits in which you'd never really sort of done before because it was all you were brunette. It's like with Kathleen, I put the majority of it sort of like goes from sort of about there to there, and I think it's quite nice to sort of face frame you with the darker around your face anyway. You don't need it around your face.
Well, because I've gone a bit browner in my face. I don't know how that's happened. Just have
more walking.
I know. Who knows? I mean, I've obviously like suddenly got a suntan. Who knows how that's happened? But yeah. Oh, Nicola, we're about to run out of time. I can't bear
my God.
it.
I know.
I need to slow gin to like say. I mean, there must be. So, could you tell me one thing that you shouldn't do to your colour? Like, is it like washing your hair with head and shoulders?
So when I was preparing the salon to open up the last lockdown, this lovely lady and her husband walked past the salon, was like banging on the window. Was like, "Are you open? Are you open?" And I was like, "No, I'm really sorry. We're just preparing to open in a couple of weeks' time." And she was like, "I've had a disaster." And she, bless her, her hair was highlighted, and she thought that she could put a colour on it to make it go away, like make the roots go away. So she had like literally, and bless her, she wasn't a client, but she was just walking past, like yellowy orange roots and then this like blonde. And I was like, "You're using blue shampoo on it as well," because she was trying to take away the yellow. So I was like, "You're actually making it worse." I said, "You're just making this grayer and that even more orange and yellow." So yeah, I just think if you have highlights, stick with your colorist. If you have a tint, maybe speak to your stylist and see if they'll give you a rough estimate of what your formula is like, what the numbers are, and you can kind of wing it. But hopefully we won't go into a huge lockdown again.
Oh, exactly. And now have you got people like ringing off the hook trying to get in for next week?
Yeah, so now that the dates have been confirmed, I'm getting direct messages all the time and texts.
Clarky, I need to get in.
Yeah, exactly.
Everyone bribing you.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, Nicola Clarke, thank you for doing this.
Oh, no, you're welcome.
What are you going to do now? You're going to have a nice...
I'm going to actually tidy my room up because I actually wrecked it, just sort of trying to get a light up. And Sam's like, make sure the camera's up high. I'm like, yeah,
God.
no, I'm just moving all the washing off the bed. And
I know, I did that. I had like a Zoom podcast earlier. And podcasts surely are only meant to be your voice. And then at the last minute, they were like, no, we need to see your face.
Oh, no.
And then we had to like clear up all the shit in the background.
I know. It's
and
horrendous.
I've told my kids they can't come in. The dog can't come in. So
I know. I've got one downstairs doing karaoke Zoom with all her friends from school. And then my son's like screaming at his friends playing some video game. So I was like, can you all shut your doors?
Oh, Nicola Clarke.
The glamour.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome, lovey.
Oh, it's so nice to see your face. Have a lovely evening.
Yeah, you too. Thanks ever so much, Rosie. Bye.
We're going to try and save it. Bye.
I know.